Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am so glad that you are here today because today we're going to be talking about printing photos for our planners and our journals. All right, so I have been printing photos and putting them in my planners and journals for many years, and there are a couple of products in particular that I turn to each and every time. Now, both of these items are by Canon, but this video is not sponsored by Canon. However, Canon, let's work together. All right, so the two photo printing options that I'm going to be talking about today are the Canon IV2 and the Canon Selphy. In particular, the 1300, because that is the model that I currently own. So frequently when I have shared my planners and journals online, I am always asked to compare the two because I frequently share pages where I have printed both. So here's an example of a page where I clearly use the Canon Selphy, and you can kind of tell because there are different size options. While you can print different size options with the Canon IV versus the Selphy, the variety of size that you're going to get is going to be different with each printer. So let's get into some of the details about each printer before we jump in. Okay, so first, for obvious reasons, there is a size difference between each photo printer, and that's really going to, come down to personal preference as far as what is going to work for you. The Canon IV2 isn't even the size of my cell phone, and this is a 13 Pro Max. Here's the Canon IV2. So you can see size comparison. Yes, it's a little bit thicker, but it is definitely a lot shorter than an iPhone. It's pretty small, easy, and portable. Now, you'll see that I keep this down on my desk because it requires a power source, so it has to be plugged in to work. While the Canon IV doesn't require to be hooked up to a cord all the time like the Canon Selphy, it does require being charged, and it does use USB-C, and that's great with most products now completely going to USB-C, so that's pretty awesome. I will say with the Canon IV2, it holds a charge much better than its predecessor. I felt like my last one would print 2 photos and the battery would just die. I did have it for years and years and years, but this one, I maybe charge it once every couple of weeks, and I print from it several times and have zero issue with it keeping a charge after printing multiple photos and multiple collages. The other thing is the type of paper that it uses. So the Canon IV uses a small inkless paper that is 2 inches by 3 inches, and the back of the paper peels off to a sticker, and I'll show you that in a little bit as well. And you can get them in packs of, I believe, like 50, or it's like 30, 50, 100, so on. I'll typically go on Amazon and just buy like a larger pack once I run out, because I do go through it quite quickly, but they are very accessible because you can get them over on Amazon. Now, the price of the Canon IV currently is sitting at $69 over on Amazon, and I'll leave a link for you guys down below. It's been on like this super mega sale over the holidays. At times it has sold out. I can't recommend this thing enough because of the price and the portability. So that is great. I think regular price is somewhere around $100 to $115, depending on the time of year and when Amazon decides to hike up their prices, to be quite honest. Now, the Canon Selphy really isn't that much more of a price point. If you get just the Canon Selphy by itself, it runs about $95, $100. Now, they sell a lot of bundles that include the ink cartridges and the photo printer, and that can start to add up to about, $125, $150, and so on, just depending on the model. But for mine in particular, the CP1300, by itself, it's sitting at $95 right now over on Amazon. Now, unlike the Canon IV, which just requires these much smaller inkless photo sticker sheets, this is what you would get for the Canon Selphy. So this is the ink cartridge. It is also inkless. And then your photo paper comes in these little sleeves, and I believe you can also buy them in like packs of 10s. So there would be like 30, 50, and so on. But when I purchased mine, I purchased a huge bundle, and I have yet to have to repurchase photo paper, but it also has something to do with the size of this paper. I can print a lot more photos on this size of paper, obviously, versus this size. And the big difference with the paper here is that there is no sticky backing to the back of the Canon selfie paper. I don't believe that that's even an option, at least not that I have seen online from what I've been able to find or not find. And this is very much a like postcard size paper, just for reference. So you don't want to take into consideration these two edges because it is perforated. So it is literally like a 4x6 piece of photo paper. Now let's talk about the apps for printing. Each photo printer has its own app, which is really, really awesome. So for the Canon Ivy, you're going to use the Mini Print app by Canon. And you'll see that as soon as you log into the app, there are a variety of different options that you can print. You can print one whole photo by itself per sheet. You can do a collage. You can also get their optional pre-cut sticker paper, which prints in circles. And here's kind of an example of what that looks like. And what I do love about the Canon Mini Print app is like when you go into collages, it's not just one singular collage that you'll be able to print. There are pages and pages of collage options for you to choose from. And it's going to be, you know, whatever you need for the types of photos that you need. So you're going to want to get in here and play around. You get 8 whole pages of different collage prints. I shared this over on my book journal setup video that I went to page 4 on here. And this is the one that I use to print my book covers for my book journal. And they are just so freaking cute because they come out so tiny and just absolutely perfect for a book journal if you're wanting to keep the book covers nice and small. So for today's video, I do want to show you the ease of printing with this thing. So you're really just going to turn it on and you're going to see this little green light flashing and it's going to connect to your device and it's going to ask for permission to connect to the device. And sometimes it can take a second or two, but since we're already in the app, it's already going to connect. If you weren't in the app, it would ask for permission to transfer over to the app. So today we're just going to print one photo right now. We'll print some more here coming up and I want to show you the collage version. And I kind of downloaded a couple of photos over from Pinterest just so that I could use some generic photos. And here's one of like a Christmas tree background and you simply press the print button and you're gonna get a full page of the 2x3 sticker sheet, photo sticker sheet with your preferred image that you have on there. And it's just going to take a second to print out, but you'll see the flashing light and it's just kind of telling you that it's working on your photo. It's coming. And one thing to mention is you'll want to stay within the app while you are printing. Sometimes it can cause an error if you exit the app while it is trying to print your photo. And you can see here how it is printing out. I say the quality is pretty good on the Canon IV2. I prefer it over the original Canon. I had a lot of battery life issues with my first Canon Ivy printer, but I think it's because I had it for so long. So here is the 1 2x3 photo that you get, and you don't have to do any sort of like waiting for drying time. It is an inkless, like I said, an inkless photo printing system. You would simply peel off the back and you have a sticker, which is awesome because then you can just put this anywhere. And just for today, I'm just gonna show you how it just sticks to the paper. It's super easy, but I love it. It is a little bit on, I would say on a thickness scale, on a scale from 1 to 10, it's like a 6 or a 7 for me. It is going to add bulk to your planner, and it is it's not matte. I'm trying to show you guys there so that, you know, those who may be wondering if it's matte or glossy, it is definitely glossy. I don't believe they have a photo paper option that is matte. That would be awesome. That would be a great suggestion if they happen to be watching. So let's do a collage now because I think collages are super fun in the Canon Ivy. So once you're done, you're just going to go back and you're going to exit out of there all the way back to the different options. You're going to choose collage and then you're just going to select which collage you want. I'm going to go to page 4 to that one that I love to use for book covers, and it's going to have like little plus signs. I hope that you guys can kind of see that, but it's going to have plus signs over on the page for you to add photos, and you're just going to add them. And we're going to do 4 of these sort of pink Christmas themed type photos there, and I think that's going to be kind of cute. And then you're just going to press print. We're already connected, so it should print automatically here. And there it goes. It's blinking. It's ready to go. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of fun to watch the image coming out on your phone while it's coming out on the printer. I kind of love that little aspect of it. So this one had like a little bit of a shadow on it, but from the image it also had a shadow. So the Canon Ivy is going to print exactly the image that it gets. So if there is shadowing and things like that, it's going to show. Now I will say that for this, it is a little bit more pixelated than I would care for, but this is just for an example. When I do print smaller images like this in the collage, I do prefer to cut up the pieces first. You can use a paper trimmer if you want, or just regular scissors like I have here. And then you've got 4 images that you can stick wherever you want in your journal or your planner. If you're not ready to stick them down, you can always put them in like your pen pouch until you're ready to sit down and journal or plan out your week, things like that. Do your memory keeping. That way they don't get stuck to anything, so you're going to want to leave the backing on. And then when you're ready, you can just go ahead and take the backing off and stick it wherever you would like. I love the ability to stick these things wherever. I will say that this is where the Canon Ivy has the upper hand on the Canon Selphy. All right, now let's jump over to the Canon Selphy. Now I will say, at least for me personally, the biggest, I would say, drawback is that maybe it requires a little bit more of a learning curve how to set it up and what setup works best for you and the device that you are connecting to. You can connect directly. There's a port over here if you would like to. I choose to do it wirelessly. Each machine comes with its own wireless connection. So essentially what you're going to need to do is go to your Wi-Fi settings on your device and switch over to this Wi-Fi. And once you find it and you're all connected, you will then go over to the Canon Selphy app. And that's where you're going to start choosing which options you want to print with. So one of my favorite, my absolute favorite tools on here is the bookmark layout. And now that I'm reading a little bit more, the bookmark layout is super fun to make bookmarks for yourself and your friends. So we're going to use that as one of the examples for today. And you're simply going to go to bookmark, and I always choose postcard and align to the top. Now, what you can do is switch to align to the bottom if you're wanting to add like a ribbon to the top of your bookmark, if you want to punch a hole at the top, that type of thing. But just for what's already on my settings, we're just going to stick to that. But it does give you the option if you want the white piece at the top or at the bottom of your bookmark. You're going to hit OK, then you're going to go to your smartphone. I go to recents, and I'm going to just start selecting 8 of the images because we're making 2 bookmarks. Oops, I selected one too many. And I believe it's 8 images. Here we go. Now we've got 8 because it's 4 per bookmark. And then we're going to hit print preview. And then it's going to ask you, do you want to use the following printer? Of course. And I don't know why it's asking if you would like to allow it to paste, but you're going to allow it. It's basically taking everything that you selected and transferring it over to the Selphy. And then you are going to hit print. And this is where the fun begins. Let me get my planner out of the way. And hopefully you guys can see the printing process here because it is pretty neat. It pushes it back out and then it starts printing, and it starts with the yellow. So it's going to look like your image is only printing in yellow, and it's going to look kind of scary, but it's doing what it needs to do. Now it's going to move on to the next color, which is the magenta color, I believe, or this pink color, and it's adding that color. Now it's adding the blue, and then it's going to go through one more time, and it's going to add the white. And so now you have your 2 bookmarks. Like I said, there are perforated edges on here that you do need to take off. I know some people choose to print into the perforated edges. I do not. Once you take off the perforated edge, you'll see what I mean by you can choose to print from the top or the bottom. So you could have flipped this around if you wanted to, and had all the images the other way, punched a hole at the top and added a ribbon. But essentially what you have is 2 bookmarks. There isn't an option to just print one, but I love this because you're just getting the most use out of the sheet of photo paper. And you can also do this with just 4 random images. You don't actually have to make a bookmark, but you would get 8 images that are pretty decently sized in comparison to printing in a much smaller size on the Canon Ivy. If you wanted it slightly larger, then you could use your Canon Selphy. Now, again, the drawback is that this is not sticker paper. So you're going to need something if you really wanted to stick it down into a planner or a journal. My 2 favorite things to use are the Tombow adhesive tape runner. This one is permanent, so I'm not going to use this one today, otherwise I won't be able to take it out of my planner and it will have to stay there forever and ever. But the other option that I really love, because it's a little bit more precise, and I'll leave links to both of these down in the description, but it is the Zig 2-way glue marker. This has been one of my favorite planning and journaling tools of 2023. I cannot recommend this enough. It does come in different tip sizes. I believe I just have the medium, or the fine tip, sorry. And essentially it is just a glue pen. So it's a little bit more precise than just your average glue stick, and it actually works. It actually sticks to the paper. But now you have 2 really cute bookmarks that you can gift to a friend or a coworker or a loved one, or you can just cut these up and put these images wherever you want in your planner. It's also kind of a good way to make your own little decorative stickers. If you're not wanting to use a lot of stickers, but you just want to add 1 or 2, you can use this for that as well. Now, you can also print just 1 single large picture. Let's go back to that. So I'm just selecting this one photo of me and Loki because I actually think it's one of my favorites. And then you're just gonna hit print, and it's going to connect and ask you if you're okay with this, and it's gonna start printing. Now, I normally don't print really large images like this. I'm more of a printing in collage or bookmark mode, but this will be fun to see because I actually did want to print this photo for my office. So fingers crossed it actually comes out really nice. But these are great if you're in a pinch and you need a good 4x6 photo printed very quickly and you don't have time to go to like a photo lab or something like that to get the photo printed. This is kind of neat watching this come out, but now you pretty much have your own photo lab at your house because printing photos nowadays can be a little bit of a hassle because it's not super convenient. Oh my gosh, that's looking really, really awesome. But now you have the convenience of doing this from your own home. And I'm already obsessed. This immediately needs to go in a frame. So all you're gonna do is take off the edges here. You do not have to wait for this ink to dry either. And then you've got a nice, really quick photo print. And if you've got a frame in your house and you need to come up with a quick gift, a printed and framed photo is absolutely perfect. And again, the only drawback for me is that it's not adhesive. So if you actually wanted to stick this somewhere, you would have to get some sort of adhesive or maybe use washi tape if you wanted to add this to your planner or your journal. All right, so let's talk about which printer you may actually need. I think when it comes down to actual convenience, cost, and just overall not having to stay plugged in somewhere or connect to a Wi-Fi source, the Canon Ivy is going to be the most convenient photo printing option. But as far as what you can actually print and size and variety and things like that, I'm gonna say that the Canon Selphy is going to far outmatch the Canon Ivy when it comes to photo size options. Now, one of the biggest questions I get asked is, well, which one is better? And it's really hard to compare. It's going to come down to what you personally need. My personal answer would be, if you can get both, get both. I did not buy these 2 at the same time. I only recently replaced my first Canon this past year with the Canon Ivy 2, and I have had the Canon Ivy CP 1300 for several years now. I know that there are newer models out, but this one is still going very, very strong. The print quality is absolutely amazing. I highly recommend both so that you have different options for all of your journaling needs, your gifting needs, your printing needs in general. I don't really know too many times where I need just a 2x3 printer just a 2x3 photo for a gift for someone, I always need something larger. So it's kind of nice to have that option. Now, I know that I've kind of like, you know, said this one's obviously more mobile, things like that. And that is true. There are cases though that you can get to take this one with you. And I've seen plenty of people at crops bring their selfies with them. This tray does come out, as you can see there, and it does close shut, and then boom, that's the profile of the Canon selfie. So it is still much larger, just to do like a little phone comparison like I did with the Ivy. You know, it's and it weighs a couple pounds too. So it's not something you can just throw in your purse. I mean, you could if you wanted to, but this thing is kind of heavy in my opinion, whereas this thing is only like a couple ounces, if that. But you can definitely take the selfie if you wanted to. I personally would probably take the Ivy more for travel. All right, guys, I hope that this video was helpful in going over the differences and the comparison between the Canon Ivy and the Canon selfie. Let me know if you have any additional questions down below in the comments of this video. I will do my best to answer them for you. I can't wait to hear what you guys think. If you've purchased either of these printers, let me know your thoughts, or if you're considering purchasing any of these printers, let me know down below. As always, thank you guys so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you are already subscribed, make sure you click that notification bell so that you know when my videos are posted here on YouTube. As always, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.